If you have a garden and a library, you have everything you need. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all the others. Glory follows virtue as if it were its shadow. The life of the dead is placed in the memory of the living. Friendship improves happiness and abates misery, by the doubling of our joy and the dividing of our grief. An unjust peace is better than a just war. The wise are instructed by reason, average minds by experience, the stupid by necessity and the brute by instinct. Live as brave men, and if fortune is adverse, front its blows with brave hearts. Any man can make mistakes, but only an idiot persists in his error. When you have no basis for an argument, abuse the plaintiff. The enemy is within the gates, it is with our own luxury, our own folly, our own criminality that we have to contend. Cultivation to the mind is as necessary as food to the body. The sinews of war are infinite money. The higher we are placed, the more humbly we should walk. Silence is one of the great arts of conversation. The safety of the people shall be the highest law. The function of wisdom is to discriminate between good and evil. While there's life, there's hope. A home without books is a body without soul. There is nothing so absurd that some philosopher has not already said it. To be ignorant of what occurred before you were born is to remain always a child. The greater the difficulty, the greater the glory. A man of courage is also full of faith. The countenance is the portrait of the soul, and the eyes mark its intentions. I prefer tongue-tied knowledge to ignorant loquacity. A friend is, as it were, a second self. The harvest of old age is the recollection and abundance of blessing previously secured. Nobody can give you wiser advice than yourself. The good of the people is the greatest law. What then is freedom? The power to live as one wishes. The greatest pleasures are only narrowly separated from disgust. Natural ability without education has more often attained to glory and virtue than education without natural ability. Brevity is a great charm of eloquence. A room without books is like a body without a soul. Love is the attempt to form a friendship inspired by beauty. In a disordered mind, as in a disordered body, soundness of health is impossible. Nothing is so unbelievable that oratory cannot make it acceptable. Any man is liable to err, only a fool persists in error. Every man can tell how many goats or sheep he possesses, but not how many friends. Memory is the treasury and guardian of all things. It is the peculiar quality of a fool to perceive the faults of others and to forget his own. I am not ashamed to confess that I am ignorant of what I do not know. Whatever you do, do with all your might. It is foolish to tear one's hair in grief, as though sorrow would be made less by baldness. In everything truth surpasses the imitation and copy. If we are not ashamed to think it, we should not be ashamed to say it. The authority of those who teach is often an obstacle to those who want to learn. He only employs his passion who can make no use of his reason. Confidence is that feeling by which the mind embarks in great and honorable courses with a sure hope and trust in itself. Not cohabitation but consensus constitutes marriage. What nobler employment, or more valuable to the state, than that of the man who instructs the rising generation? Freedom is a man's natural power of doing what he pleases, so far as he is not prevented by force or law. The precepts of the law are these: to live honestly, to injure no one, and to give everyone else his due. Next to God we are nothing. To God we are everything. Great is the power of habit. It teaches us to bear fatigue and to despise wounds and pain.